Now I'm going to Kamiensky, Dnipro region that has terrible blackouts. For example, now I'm checking the schedule, and the group where was put my mom's house is having blackouts since 16 till 20, and after 20 till 24. What? But now we are going, and I offer you to go with me. My mom was trying to talk me out from going to Kamiensky because she was worried how would I work from the home during the blackout, because I have a strict schedule of work. But honestly, it's not a big deal for me. The most important part is to see her. In worst case scenario, I can just go to the invincibility point and do some work there.
Free car numbering begins from the eastern part. Platform entrances are located in the tunnel.
I actually wanted to come earlier to support her emotionally after Sam's death, but my work was a mess. So as soon as I got to the railway station, the air raid sirens went on. In Lviv it usually happens like twice a day, but now it was a jets with ballistics. It was mixed Kinjal missiles. They told that they launched 4 of them. All my family is worrying while I'm traveling, because Russians have been hitting trains and station again, like ragely, because they hit Bagley station in Kamiensky and shut down all the departures for 2 days. So once I boarded the train, I called to my mom to say I was on my way. She didn't know I was coming, and she immediately started yelling because she always freaks out when I'm traveling. The night passed so far so good, because last time I stuck in the Kiev railway station during the missile attack, hiding under the bottom bank waiting for the blast to stop. Of course, I didn't tell it to my mom. The first thing I noticed when I arrived was the noisy hum of generators everywhere. But this is a reality, so we need to deal with it. So guys, if you see my face now and this room, it means obviously I arrived safely. Thank you for your prayers. So I'm ready to tell you about the life in the pre-frontline region. However, I don't know if Dnipro region is still calling the pre-frontline region, as combat is already in Mezhava district. So here I'm without power. If you see light in my face, it was done by my power banks, like here. I have brought a bunch of them to make my life here bearable, and after, when I return to Lviv, I will leave all these power banks here, because my mom also needs something to switch the lamps and switch the laptops, because she's still working in school. Yeah, and I bought the modem with antennas to cope with the absence of the mobile signal. So since 7 a.m. till now, and now it's almost 2:30, there is no power, and I'm sitting and waiting just to power come, and I will switch on my boiler with the water heater, because it's completely like cold, and I didn't have a proper shower today. I'm just boiled the water. At that moment I realized that there will be no electricity the whole day, so I met up with my friend. We walked her dog and just watched how city lives during a blackout, and wow, it was loud and noisy. Generators were everywhere. Sorry for interruption, but before we continue, I need to talk to you. Guys, and of course, thank you for supporting my YouTube channel. It means the world to me. And of course, thank you to everyone who supported the gas fulfillment for my friend in mechanic unit. His name is Eugene. I have already transferred the funds to him via Monobank, and here you can see the details of the transfer. Thank you, guys. In case you want to support Jane as a content creator, please proceed to description of this video and find PayPal and Buy Me a Coffee links. So thank you. Let's continue. And I mean, I have no right to complain. I know people in Sinelnikova district, for example, in the villages, have it so much worse with the constant outages and even artillery hits. But how is it? People still complain like Israeli people in the desert after Moses took them out of Egypt. But still, there was another problem with the power outages. Peak of the voltage and the jumps of the voltage is so intense in the first minutes of giving the electricity that all our devices can be just burned. Yes, yesterday we saw that voltage was too low and after too high. So this is another issue that we are facing with, because the power grid after the missiles attack, it's very weak, and if you constantly switch it on and off, on and off, on and off, it can cause the breakdown. And we do not know what happens if we will reach the winter and it will be -5 Celsius. Probably the power outages will be longer, and probably it will be colder in the room. Now I'm just like putting my clothes on and it's fine. But who knows what we should expect in winter. In Lviv, I do have alternative ways of heating, but here it's like apartment, and you will not put the stove and burn the wood in the apartment, you know. It's you can burn the house in all the apartment block, yeah. I also decided to visit my grandma to check how she's handling these rolling blackouts. She was just discharged from the hospital recently, and sitting in the total darkness all the day is definitely not helping her.
Зачем скільки убивати і їхніх, і наших гибнуть? Кожний день ведуть, хоронять солдат. Разве можна так? Ми ждемо дня, поки мир наступить. Нам допомагають європейці. Страни скільки допомагають нам, а він воює, цей Путін, і не останавлюється.
Ну да, тому що він диктатор. Бабушка,
це взагалі.
Але...
А ми надіємось, звісно. Я пережила одну війну, голод, і надіялась, що лучше. Ми ж таки лучше стало в нас жити.
Конечно.
Мирно було. Зачем затівати оцю війну? Що кожен день лягаєш і не знаєш, що буде.
She also lives in the district far from the center, and there are not many businesses that can afford those big industrial generators to light up their shops or surrounding area. When you have some medium-sized businesses around your apartment block, at least the streets get a bit of light from their generators. But on the outskirts, nothing. That is why people who live outside the city center feel a lot more helpless. And the most ridiculous part is when you are sitting without the electricity for 7 hours in a row. Yeah, and after you have it for 4 hours and after 8 hours off, you become very angry because you have heard about corruption schemes that happened in the TETs and done by the top management of the TETs that didn't build the coverage and protection because they wanted to do money laundering. And yes, they have already gone abroad, just flat, you know. And you're sitting and thinking like, God, how much money people need, really. They are actually billionaires. And all Ukrainians are in shock, believe me. Not all Ukrainians are corrupt, guys. Top management can do this, but the just simple workers who are working on the electricity companies, they are working so hard, like blue collars, you know, and they are earning very little, and they are risking their lives during the missiles attack to provide electricity and after to repair it, because sometimes Russians are strike with the missiles or drones in the moment of repairment, just to kill as many people as they want to kill. This is another question. And I know that you're disappointed by this corruption scandal. Believe me, me too, and all Ukrainians are. And if you have seen what people are writing in the chats, in the Telegram and the Viber chats, they are completely mad. And we understand that we should keep an eye on the investigation and keep situation under the control, because first of all, we are suffering, and first of all, Ukrainian reputation is suffering, and just simple people without electricity in winter will suffer, like elderly people, kids, foster families, because they have so many financial opportunities to buy like generator, power station, or power banks, or any other alternative sources, or heating and internet. At least the critical infrastructure still works. Public transport is running and major buildings and civil services are powered, so we can always bring our power banks to charge it there. And it's not really bad. And you know, guys, where the electricity is always plugged? In the church. I don't know, maybe the location matters, but they are situated near the hospital, so probably they are having the same grid. You can always catch some warmth and electricity there, together with peace and harmony and good music of organ. And in church, I can find the reassurance that Jesus is with us in any situation and he still loves us, even if situation bad and disturbing. He waiting for us and we all his children. Even if you are not Christian, my friend, even if you're a decent person, like you said, you do good works, you show good works and can distinguish good from bad. You're ours. As it was said in the Romans, they showed that work of the law is written in their hearts, while their conscience also bear witness, and they conflict thoughts accuse or even excuse. So yeah, life as it is, and still no electricity at home. However, they should have already provided it by now, but shall see what happened. Thank you for watching this video till the very end. You are my heroes, and we'll see you in the next one very soon. I hope that my procrastination, burnout and so mental state will allow it, and really, because I do like to do these videos. So God be with you. Bye bye.